Hello and welcome to Serenity, and today I'm going to do some exercises for your feet. As a reflexologist, I see many different types of feet. Some are very flexible and wiggly-toed, and others are very stiff. And generally, the stiffer the feet, the stiffer the body. So it's worth spending time, and if you've got time on your hands now, to exercise your feet. You can do this at any time. If you're watching telly, when you get really good at it, you could do it while you're reading a book or doing other things. But what you need to be is sat down with your knees over your ankles so that you've got a nice firm base. You can sit on the floor for this. If you feel that you don't want to lean forward, because if your feet need a little bit of helping hand, you're going to have to use your hands to help the little toes in order to move. So we're going to start off with lifting your toes up off the floor and putting them down. And this is a good exercise to do to strengthen the muscles of the whole of the foot, actually, but particularly we're working on the muscles that come from the front of the shins and then attach into the feet. There are many attachments and ligaments that make up the feet, and so it's worth paying attention to them, because they will have a bearing on the health of those, will have a bearing on your posture and the strength of all the other muscles. So now we're going to do a little bit different, and this time try lifting the toes and leaving the big toe down. It's not that easy, and if you're finding it difficult to isolate your toes, then you can lean down and place your fingers on there. And it's practice. Like with anything, it's just practice. So if you find this difficult to do without holding your toes down, give yourself a week and see where you are. If you do this every day for a week, you'll find that gradually, as the ligaments strengthen, they too will be able to isolate the big toe and leave it down. Now we're going to include the little toes. So squeeze the big toes and the little toes together and lift the three in the middle. Now some people, as you can see with mine, have a bit of a fusion between these two toes, and the same on the other side. They work much more freely together than they do apart. Never actually got to the stage where I can work all the toes separately. But if you can, then let me know. I'd like to know. And then let's give this one a go. So we're going to press the three toes in the middle down and lift the big toes. Now, as much as anything, this is getting your brain working, because it's not used to focusing totally on your feet. So I'm going to need a bit of helping hand here. Excuse the pun. I'm going to actually not hold the toes down, but just to make my brain consider those toes. No, I can't do it. Oh, it's a brain exercise as much as a foot exercise. It's a tricky one. Keep working on that. It'll just take a while for the brain to catch up. Now, all those of you with bunions, or bunions thinking you're going to get bunions, a good thing to do is to isolate the big toe and move it away from the other toes. So getting that movement going. I used to be better at this than I am. If you can't do it, obviously use your hands, do one foot and then the other, and physically move the toe away from the others. This is not just exercising your feet, but it's also exercising underneath your foot and all the way up your legs as well. And it will have an effect on the way your knees present themselves and eventually your hips. So if that's difficult, another thing you can do is to actually wrap an elastic band. Don't make it too tight round both big toes together, and then move your feet away. And the elastic band gives you a bit of stability and also something to pull against. So now we're going to push up on your toes. You can do this standing up. I would start the stretch. I'm going to come a bit nearer so I can get a better stretch. I'm going to start the stretch sitting down. But if you find that easy, then you can stand up and try and do it as well. Now, when you push forward, make sure that your weight is equidistant between the big toe and the little toe. You can see my foot wants to go off to the side. And actually the springy bit when I'm walking is the bit underneath the ball of the foot and through all the toes. So when you walk, your heel goes down. The first bit that hits the ground is the outside of the foot. And by the time it comes up and pushes you forward, it's all the toes, in particular focus on the big toe. So if you're like me and you tend to go over to the side, working with the feet and thinking about where your weight is a good thing. So if you find that you're rotating your ankle is difficult and your ankle is really stiff, then pick it up and place it over the other foot, over the knee of your other leg, and take hold of the foot and rotate it manually. You actually go further, get a bigger rotation in this way. Always hold on to the ankle, just above the ankle, and rotate it. And don't forget to go both ways. So your bigger rotation. Obviously don't do this if it hurts, but keep it within the realms of your mobility. And actually, the more practice you have, the bigger the rotation, and eventually you will be able to rotate your foot. Keep giving it a try. And that's it. I hope by now your feet feel exercised and lively, and keep wiggling those toes. And I'll see you very soon here at Serenity. Bye for now.